What is going on, Jet fans? Matt O'Leary back with another video on the channel. Today we are going to talk some Jets GM interviews, and a decision could be coming later today on the next general manager. This video is powered by BetUS, the official sports book of the YouTube channel. Sign up using promo code YouTube150 and receive a 150% match deposit bonus on your first deposit. It's conference championship weekend. You got the Eagles, who are favored by 6 points. The Chiefs are slight favorites as well. Looking on BetUS, I like the home teams in this one. I think the Chiefs win. That's just what they seem to do against the Buffalo Bills in the playoffs. And it's been a really good story for the Commanders so far. We have never seen a rookie quarterback play in the Super Bowl. I guess there's a first time for everything, but odds are going against Washington in this one, I believe. All right, so a little confusion from the New York Jets this week. So yesterday they hired Aaron Glenn to be the next head coach of the New York Jets, something that I think is exciting, at least. I think a lot of Jet fans think it's exciting. You have some others who maybe just don't want to see another defensive first-time head coach, and I get that. But it was originally reported at least the day before. So yesterday was Wednesday. So on Tuesday, it was pretty much thought that Lance Newmark and Aaron Glenn would get hired and would be getting hired together. That wasn't the case. In fact, after recording my reaction and posting it, it came out that Lance Newmark did not get hired. They only hired Aaron Glenn. Now, Newmark is not out of the running. He could still be one of the guys that gets hired, but the New York Jets will be interviewing Darren Miers and Trey Brown today for the GM position as well. And we could possibly see a decision by end of day. As I mentioned, Lance Newmark already got his second interview. He is still in the running by all indications. Just because they're talking to two other people does not necessarily mean that he won't get the job. But let's start with Darren Miers, who is young, very young, just 39 years old, which in the NFL front office world is definitely on the young side. He's worked his way up from a scouting intern in 2012 with the Broncos. He spent his entire career so far with the Broncos. So 2012 scouting intern, then he went to an area scout, an assistant director of college scouting in 2020, director of player personnel in 2021. And then since 2022, he's been an assistant GM. Sean Payton has kept him around the last couple of years as an assistant GM. And we know how close Aaron Glenn and Sean Payton are. So I wonder if this is a Sean Payton recommendation for Aaron Glenn since he got hired first. It seems like Glenn is going to be the face of the New York Jets. And the GM, sure, is going to have a role, obviously. But it's not going to be so much as like Joe Douglas was the face of the Jets, at least from, the coaching and GM side. I think it's Glenn who's going to be kind of running the show, almost like the comparison that's been tossed out there a lot, like Pete Carroll was in Seattle when he was coaching them. Not that Lance Newmark has had this like crazy impressive resume, but I just don't think Darren Miers had a ton of experience. Again, he's only been bumped up to a director of player personnel in 2021. So he's got like 4 years at a higher level. And he was kind of just, on the scouting side through the first 8-9 years of his career in NFL front offices. So doesn't really move me a ton. Unfortunately, I don't think Trey Brown is all that much better. He's the same age, 39 years old. He was a scout with the Patriots, then the Eagles. He went to the AAF in 2019 and the XFL in 2020 before returning to the NFL as a scout with the Bengals in 2021. And then he's been a personnel executive since 2022, serving in that same role. For Brown, that resume doesn't also really do a whole lot for me. They're both on the younger side, which not ageist against younger people. It's just I don't think that they've had a whole lot of front office experience. I think there were other more qualified candidates that the Jets have interviewed throughout this process. And GM's really hard to predict like how they're going to project, because you could look at, things that the Broncos or the Bengals or that the Lions for Lance Newmark did when they were there, but it's not like they were necessarily in huge decision-making roles. So you'd be taking a risk on any of these three guys. I guess my preference is still Lance Newmark, even though I don't think that's like this crazy inspiring hiring. At least he has a lot more experience and has been around the league a lot longer than both of these guys. Trey Brown, a former player, so maybe the Jets go that route for Aaron Glenn, since they kind of went the player route on the coach. Moogie has the connection to Sean Payton, so clearly we know how close AG and Sean Payton are. And then Lance Newmark and Aaron Glenn overlapped in Detroit. So we'll see who the New York Jets decide between these three. It feels like it will be one of these three guys who will get the job. And as I mentioned, a decision can and likely will be made today. Not the most inspiring list. My preference is probably Newmark, but I'm curious what you guys think. Let me know in the comments down below how you're feeling about the New York Jets GM search. Sound off below. Shout out BetUS for powering this video. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.